Hello and welcome to my Championship Roundup review. Thank you so much for everyone who has tuned in. I hope you really do enjoy this video, and if you do, please make sure you smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. But let's get straight into this weekend's fixtures. The first one was a game I watched live. I did a watch along for it. Ipswich versus West Brom. Ipswich, it wasn't a bad performance. I don't think it was a bad performance by them. But it just was a bit lackluster. Just 2 shots on target. They just looked a bit under, you know, a step under, if that makes sense. I don't think they're good enough at the minute. But it's a lot better than it was under Paul Hurst. So they are improving as a team, and I feel wins are going to come soon for Ipswich. But this game, West Brom were just a cut above, unfortunately. Rodriguez from close range, heading in from a ball from Kieran Gibbs, made it 1-0 after 26 minutes. Harvey Barnes with a lovely finish after a great run by Matty Phillips made it 2-0 and looked like it was going to be comfortable. Caden Jackson come off the bench and scored one after a mix-up at the back, and then a free kick right at the end came off the post for Ipswich. They could have nicked a point, but another defeat. 3 defeats in their last 5 games and just 2 points picked up. Still only 1 win so far this season. 11 points. They're on 6 points from safety. It's a hell of a job now for Paul Lambert. Next game, Bristol City. They are in freefall. 4 defeats in a row. They're at home. Ipswich. It's a huge game. It's a game I could certainly see them getting something from. And then Saturday we had a whole host of games, starting in Yorkshire, Rotherham versus Sheffield United. Rotherham, I was very impressed with indeed. Some really good performance there. A really tidy performance. They definitely deserved a point. But it was Duffy after some great chances for Rotherham. Duffy went up the other end, took on 2 or 3 players and then slotted it into the corner, and that is how it remained during the first half. And to their credit, Rotherham, they kept going, and they kept going. Henderson in the Sheffield United goal, he was unbelievable. Made several top quality saves. But he was finally beaten just after the hour mark. John Taylor with a shot deflected and into the back of the net. 85 minutes on, it looked like Chris Basham had stolen the 3 points, hitting in from close range, and Sheffield United went 2-1 up with 5 minutes remaining. But in stoppage time, Jamie Proctor, who had only just got off the bench, scored from close range and made it 2 apiece. Rotherham played very well. 26 shots to the 6 of Sheffield United, and you know that just sums up their dominance in this game. They certainly deserve the point. That leaves them 2 points above the relegation zone. But their home form is very good, and that is something they will rely on. If they stay up, it will be because of their home form. Not many sides will go there this season and get 3 points. Sheffield United, they missed a chance to go top of the league in the early kickoff, and now are in 5th place. Just 1 win in their last 5 games against Wigan. 2 draws in their last 2 games, both in like sort of local derbies with Sheffield United and then Rotherham. Next game is Brentford away. That'll be something that they'll desperately want to get 3 points to get back on a winning run. Then we had a whole bunch, as we always do, of 3 o'clock games. The first, Hull City against Nottingham Forest. Hull City, both goals were their own doing. The first one was a missed clearance. It fell to Graben, who scored just after the hour mark. Then Joe Lolly, he scored a deflected, come off a Hull City player, deflected in and made it 2-0. Comfortable victory for Aitor Karanka's men. 61% possession for 39%. 6 shots on target, just 1 of Hull. They really dominated them and deserved the 3 points, leaving just 1 point outside that that promotion playoff spot, which is really a good turnaround after a very drab sort of start to the season with lots of draws. But they're just 6 points off the top, and they are, you know, very good chance of doing very well this year. Aston Villa away next, a very tough game. We'll get onto them in just a little bit. Hull, it's not really happening for them. They are one from bottom, 16 points. They are only 1 point above the below the relegation zone, but 10 defeats. That's the most in the league so far. Next game doesn't get any easier. Norwich is their next game. Norwich at home. Very, very tough indeed. Leeds, they won their game, and they would be very, very pleased with how they played as well. Brownhill got a red card for Bristol City for 2 bookable offences. It seems like Leeds were, giving their all. They just couldn't get the goal. But Roof, 20 minutes from time from close range, made it 1-0, and then 5 minutes from the end, Hernandez made it 2-0. Very, very good performance. They really bossed the game. 63% possession, 20 shots to 7 of Bristol City. They certainly deserved to win that one. So after that defeat against West Brom just before the international break, they get back with a win, which will be very, very pleasing for Marcelo Bielsa. Bristol City, 4 defeats in a row, as previously stated. Ipswich away next. They need to get something from that, or it'd be 5 defeats from 5 potentially, which would be awful. Not won since the 24th of October, over a month ago. Very, very disappointing indeed for Bristol City, who were up there challenging for the playoffs not so long ago. Very, very disappointing. Millwall and Bolton, 2 sides really desperate to get away from that relegation zone, and to my surprise it was Bolton who took the lead. Mark Beavers heading off the post into the back of the net. Very, very nice finish from him. Cooper, 8 minutes from time, got the equaliser, and both sides remain on 17 points and are in huge danger of being relegated this season. Millwall, they finished last season great, but they haven't started this season very, very well. Bolton, they've only scored 12 goals this season. That's the same as Neil Mapai. So that's very, very concerning. They are in the relegation zone. They need to start turning things round. Next game, Sheffield Wednesday away. A side that haven't won in their last 6 games. Absolutely huge in midweek. Preston played Blackburn, and a comfortable win for Preston. There was a moment where they had a goal ruled out, and that would have changed everything for Blackburn, but in the end it was a comfortable win for Preston. 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, one from Tom Barkhausen and the next from Callum Robinson, somebody that's been very, very impressive so far this season. Graham got one back just after half time, but goals from Malt and Brown made the points safe. They are now in 16th place, 3 wins and 2 draws from their last 5 games. They've gone on a little bit of an unbeaten run, which will very, very much please Neil, who is the manager of Preston. Their home form is pretty good. It's their away form that has been the main issue for them, but if they continue this good form, they will rise and probably end up in the top half after a very, very difficult start to the season. Blackburn, they're in 11th, and I think that they're happy. As long as they don't go down, I think they're just going to try and consolidate this season. Next game is Blackburn will be taking on Wigan away from home. I think that they'll be happy as long as they're, if the season finished now, they'd be happy with what they have, and they could maybe improve in the summer. But as long as they're nowhere near that relegation zone, I think that they'll be very, very happy with proceedings. Next, Derby County went to Hillsborough to play Sheffield Wednesday, and it didn't go their way in the beginning. 12 minutes on the clock, Reach from close range made it 1-0, but goals from Harry Wilson, a lovely finish, and then Marriott broke through and made it 2-1, and that's how it remained, all goals in the first half. So Derby County, after that defeat to Aston Villa, that very, very disappointing defeat to Aston Villa, they are come back with a win, are in 6th place in the playoffs, which they'll be very happy with. Sheffield Wednesday were around the top. They could have gone top several times a couple of months ago, but now they are just 3 points away from the relegation zone. I think that's 5 defeats in their last 6 games. It's been terrible for them. Just 1 point picked up in their last 5. 0-0 draw against Sheffield United. It's disappointing. I'm not sure why everything has gone so wrong. They've conceded 32 goals, which is the most in the league, and that's probably why they are now down there. Very, very disappointing indeed for Sheffield Wednesday. Like I say, a big game coming up against Bolton. That would be a good game to try and get their confidence back. Stoke versus QPR. It was a hugely shocking turn of events at the Bet365 Stadium. Angel Rangel scored twice for QPR. The first one on 7 minutes before Berahino equalised 14 minutes later from close range. Joe Allen, who provided the assist for Berahino's goal, scored just after the hour mark to make it 2-1. But 10 minutes from full time, Rangel again finding his way up the pitch and making it 2-2. Easy with both assists there, and it cut to Steve McClaren. He was like, "What the hell was he doing up there?" When Rangel scored, which I thought was very, very funny. QPR, they're in 9th place. Like I said, I can't see them getting into the playoffs or anything like that, but they've turned it around very, very well after a really, really poor start. Stoke, they're on a bit of an unbeaten run themselves. 4 draws in their last 5 games and 1 win. If they start turning those draws into victories, they'd be certainly in the playoffs. Yeah, even if they'd just, turned 2 of those into wins, that would be another 4 points, and they'd be just outside the playoffs. Same points as Aston Villa, and everyone would be feeling great. But they need to start turning these games into wins. Massive game next when Stoke take on Gary Rowett's former employers, Derby County. Norwich remain top of the league. They made it 6 wins on the bounce. Van der Horn own goal. Buendia made it 2-0, and then Stiepermann made it 3-0 just before half-time, with James scoring a few minutes later, and it was 3-1 at half-time. Pukki, who has been a revelation really this season, made it 4-1, and it was very, very comfortable in the end for the Canaries. 6 wins in a row in the Championship. It's amazing. They're in the best form by a mile of any other club. They're flying, absolutely flying. They've scored 32 goals. They've gone over Leeds. They are catching up West Brom, who have scored 39, and they're looking very, very good. Very, very good indeed. Daniel Farke has turned the bad form at the start of the season around, and they are looking unstoppable at the minute. Swansea, they're in 10th place now. 5 points from the playoffs, so it's very, very tight indeed at the top. Finally, the last 3 o'clock game was Wigan versus Reading, and it finished 0-0. There's not really much to say about this game, really. It could have obviously gone either way. Reading will be pleased with a point on the road. 1 win, 2 draws in their last 3 games. I think they'll be overly happy with that, just outside the relegation zone with that point. Wigan, they are in 17th place. They could potentially be dragged in. 4 defeats and 1 draw in their last 5 games, which is not very good form at all, is it, for Wigan? Their home form has been very, very good, as I have stated before. 18 points now picked up at home. But I think they're in danger of getting dragged in if these sides start to pick up points. I mean, lucky for them, none of them have won in their last 2 games. So that's probably why Preston, who won 2, have gone above them. So difficult times at the moment for Wigan. I believe Nick Powell is out, which is a huge miss. And finally, the last game was on Sunday. Second City derby, Aston Villa versus Birmingham. An amazing game. One of the best games I've seen for a long time. And it was a surprise. Jukovic made it 1-0 after half an hour, a header from sort of close range, and I was surprised. I expected Aston Villa to probably win comfortably. Kodja scored after 37 minutes to make it 1-1, and then Grealish at the back post with a header made it 2-1. 2 minutes later, just after half-time, Abraham was fouled and won a penalty, scored the penalty to make it 3-1, and then Pedersen scored just before the hour mark to make things a little bit tighter, and then Hutton with a great run going past so many players as if he's Messi, and then a tidy finish at the end wrapped up all 3 points. A 4-2 victory for Villa. That's 3 wins on the bounce for Villa. 4-2 over rivals Birmingham, a 3-0 win at Derby, and then a 2-0 win over struggling Bolton. They're starting to rise, they're starting to pick up momentum, they're starting to score goals, and it's a concern for those sides whose form hasn't been too good. The likes of Sheffield United, their form hasn't been the best. West Brom, they've started to pick up after some bad form, and they could take that place. They are very much looking very good. So just having a quick look at the table. Top we have Norwich, then Middlesbrough. In the playoffs, Leeds, West Brom, Sheffield United and Derby. In the chasing pack, we have Nottingham Forest, Villa, QPR, Swansea and Blackburn. Down the bottom, Ipswich are bottom with just 11 points. Next we have Hull on 16 and Bolton on 17. Millwall and Reading are both outside the relegation zone but are also on 17 points. Then we have Rotherham on 19 and Sheffield Wednesday on 20. Thanks so much for everyone who has tuned in. If you enjoyed, please smash the like button, subscribe if you are new. I really hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Mike and hopefully I will see you soon.